A warm welcome to one and all to view our documentation on Cubism. Let's have a look. Introduction. Cubism is an early 20th century avant-garde art movement that revolutionized European painting and sculpture and inspired related movements in music, literature, and architecture. The one primary influence that led to Cubism was the representation of three-dimensional form in the late works of Paul Cézanne. The movement was later pioneered by Pablo Picasso, Georges Braque, joined by Jean Metzinger, Albert Gleizes, Robert Delaunay, Henri Lefauconnier, and Fernand Degas. In Cubist artwork, objects are analyzed, broken up, and reassembled in abstracted forms. Instead of depicting objects from a single viewpoint, the artists depict the object from a multiple viewpoint to represent the subject in a greater context. The history of Cubism has been divided into phases. The early Cubism, that marked the formation of Cubism. The analytical Cubism, that was defined as the first phase of Cubism. Synthetic Cubism, forming the second phase of Cubism. And the crystal Cubism, that marked the third and last phase of Cubism, coming to an end of an era. The development of Cubism began at the end of Paul Cézanne's retrospective work at the Salon d'Automne in 1907. His work of generic forms to simplify nature had served to be the driving force behind Picasso and Braque's dedication towards the movement. It was during this period that Picasso and Braque rose to fame. The close collaboration between Picasso and Braque in 1909 was the crucial moment for the style's genesis. But the movement, driven with so much hard work and perspective, did not last much longer beyond the World War I. Douglas Cooper, an art historian, described the phases of Cubism in an opinionated form in his own book, The Cubist Epoch. The basics behind Cubism. This shows us, for example, to understand the basic and learning understanding behind the perspectives of Cubism that was mainly and majorly shown by Braque and Picasso.
Stages of Cubism. Picasso's and Braque's work was mostly seen in this stage. The following pictures are some of the works of them.
Early Cubism, 1908 to 1909. This was the phase that marked the formation of Cubism and the period in which the movement began in the wake of Paul Cézanne's retrospective work in 1907. Several artists who saw the retrospective work were influenced by the three-dimensionality, the materials he used, and the brushwork he stroked. Braque's houses at Les Stakes in 1908 forms an excellent example of early Cubism. As we see on the right are other paintings that were from the time of early Cubism. Cubism, 1910. In this phase, Cubism developed in highly systematic fashion, was later to be known as analytic period of style. Hence, here is where it gets its name from, and here is when it got marked as the first phase of Cubism. It was based on the close observation of objects in their background context, often showing them from various vantage points. Picasso and Braque restricted their subject matter to traditional genres of portraiture and still life, and also limited their palette to earth tones and muted grays in order to lessen the clarity between the fragmented shapes of figures and objects. Although their works were often similar in appearance, their separate interests showed through over time. Braque tended to show objects exploding out or pulled apart into fragments, while Picasso rendered them magnetized with attracting forces, compelling elements to the pictorial space into the center of the composition.
Synthetic Cubism, which was between 1912 to 1914. Color was reintroduced with the two technical innovations called papier-collé and collage. So papier-collé involves stringing colored paper onto the canvas, which was invented by Braque. Collage was developed by the Picasso and involves all kind of material which can be used for still life. They also drew attention to the fact that a painting is a flat object and blurred line between the painting and the sculptures. This is Harlequin by Pablo Picasso. Picasso and Braque in 1912 began to introduce foreign elements into their compositions, continuing their experiments with multiple perspectives. This is Still Life with Chair Caning by Pablo Picasso. Synthetic experiments also gained some sort of negative response as it took round about from the Renaissance depictions of spaces and towards some more conceptual rendering of objects and figures. Next is Crystal Cubism, which was between 1915 to 1922. French artists were facing restrictions in experimentation due to the chaos of the World War I. It was quoted as the end product of a progressive closing down of possibilities. The upper picture is Still Life with Guitar by Pablo Picasso and the Daily Gnome. Hard edges theme were seen in this painting rather than resembling low relief sculptures. This phase too have been associated with works of Salon Cubism, Picasso and Braque, and looked over Leger's attempt to show objects from various angles too.
Impact of Cubism. In France, offshoots of Cubism developed, including Euphemism, abstract art, and later Purism. The impact of Cubism was far-reaching and wide-ranging. In France and other countries, Futurism, Suprematism, Dada, Constructivism, Vorticism, the Stills, and Art Deco developed in response to Cubism. Early Futurist paintings hold in common with Cubism the fusing of the past and the present, the representation of different views of the subject pictured at the same time, also called multiple perspective, simultaneity or multiplicity. While constructivism was influenced by Picasso's technique of constructing sculpture from separate elements, other common threads between these disparate movements include the faceting or simplification of geometric form.
Violin and Palette, 1909, a painting by Georges Braque. 1909 was the year when Picasso and Braque started collaborating on paintings largely based on interior scenes that included reference to music, such as musical instruments or sheet music. In this early example of analytical cubism, Braque was experimenting further with shallow spacing by reducing the color palette to neutral browns and grays that further flatten out the space. The piece is also indicative of Braque's attempts to show the same item from different points of view. Some shading is used to create an impression of bas relief, with the various geometric shapes seeming to overlap slightly. Musical instruments such as guitars, violins, and clarinets show up frequently in his cubist paintings. Particularly in the works of Braque, who trained as a musician, he relied on such repeated subject matter. The works also encouraged the viewers to concentrate on the stylistic innovations of Cubism rather than on the specificity of the subject matter. An attempt to recreate one of Picasso's most famous and finest works, The House on the Hills. Pablo Picasso, a Spanish painter, sculptor, printmaker, ceramicist, and theatre designer, who spent most of his years experimenting with art in such a way that he became one of the most strongest driving forces in the course of art culture. In this course, Cubism plays a turning point in the history of art culture as well as his life. Both gained so much fame only due to his experimentation and creativity that his credits can be observed in his concept in Cubism. One common feature in terms of concept and perspective was his multiple viewpoint element that I could clearly see myself while trying to recreate one of his famous paintings, House on the Hill. And to give more weightage to these abstract sort of art, he rendered colors into them to give weightage, a settled look, densified or defined look, and all this he covered with muted shades, as always signature to his true style of rendering. Next, we move on to the topic which sheds light on as to how Cubism came into existing and what are its famous concepts that made it so interesting that were followed by Picasso and Braque. Both Picasso and Braque experimented together to develop this art form known as Cubism. They rejected the dominant style of single viewpoint of Renaissance and produced works of multiple perspectives. They adopted a palette of muted greens, ochres, and greys, which served to the emphasized formal qualities of their work. Over here we see how Picasso has turned the view of a group of houses at the top of the hill into a agglomeration of geometrical forms with all detailing such as windows removed. The topography of the scene has also been freely arranged to emphasize further that this landscape has been produced from many distinct viewpoints.
Still Life with Chair Chaining by Pablo Picasso. So this was his painting about the still life. Aesthetic was synthetic cubism. Technique was collage of many of newspaper and everything. Aim was to display reality. Format was oval. Perspective was ambitious and multiple view was side and top. Color was mutant as in synthetic cubism time. Only gray and brown color was in demand. Light and shadow, transparent and reflective. The word play is Joe Rennell. About the collage, a technique of an art production where the artwork is made from a collection of different forms, thus creating a new whole. A collage may sometimes include newspaper clipping, portions of other artworks or texts, photographs and other found objects glued to a piece of paper or canvas. This origin of collage can be tracked back to the work of Pablo Picasso and Brau. The downer picture shows the element used in it. Synthetic cubism was about flattening out the spaces and eliminating the last traces of illusion of three-dimensional spaces. Synthetic cubism began when artists started adding to their artworks different material that had textures and patterns, as he has done in his painting. About the chair designing, so I have come with a modern lifestyle piece of furniture which follows most of the basic principles of cubism. Also, it plays with the typical shapes and arranged in a different manner so that it could give a unique effect. As the chair could be used for many kind of work such as resting by just flipping the two stand at the bottom, and also it is comfortable due to the height which is less and the space for the seating is more, and also the handrest is at the lower part. So this was the process model of it, just shown the arrangement of the particular element. About the color scheme which I have used in the model. The color plays within three elements which are the supporting members of the chair and also with the typical shape. As we can see, the three colors green, grey and brown which are put together majorly, and just to make it suitable for the aesthetic purpose, I have added black color at the lower portion as well as on the handle. So some of the key points for this. This model represents a modern lifestyle piece of furniture that follows basic most principle of cubism. As you can see the shapes. The model represents to be play around with three elements, colors and the typical shapes determined to represent cubism. Brown, green and grey here are highlighting the colors of cubism, whereas the black is the back lower portion is added for the aesthetic purpose. It can form a classy modern reading chair that can give the ambience of a room with a subtle pop due to the color play in the suitable interior environment.
Cubase 6 by David Smith is one of the series of sculptures in stainless steel that epitomize his mature career as an artist. It is an abstract composition of geometric figures, squares and rectangles in a vertical arrangement and intended to stand out of those like a cinetel or a totem. Although greater than life size, it nevertheless has the anatomical proportions of a human with legs, torso, and head rendered through geometry. And while it is static, there is a quality of anticipated movement to be found in its broken silhouette. The figure is asymmetrical and implies that a shift in space could be anticipated. Smith was a complex artist who drew and painted with equal talent and understood the power of light falling upon these rectangular areas, so the surfaces have been abraded and drawn upon with tools and made to sparkle in sunlight, becoming a further source of sculptural animation, abstraction, and expressionism united in an icon. To me, Picasso's maquette for guitar didn't just came as a sculpture, but I thought it could make an excellent form of installation in an appropriate surroundings. Looking at the original maquette that Picasso had displayed for the guitar, I thought to maybe shuffle the pieces along to see if I could maybe create something more differently interesting. I didn't want it to look just plainly copied from his original work, and I thought more than giving it a fun twist, it would instigate my sense of understanding the form and his concepts better, which it surely did. The look is quite a solid mass when we look at it at first, but when we observe a little more, it gives a sense of smooth blend into the surrounding void. This comes through the disparate pieces assembled in the sort of way to symbolize balance as well as we see harmony in some ways, because the parts jumbled yet made to suit with their associated parts. All in all, it has quite a vintage tinge to it and can make a standoff-ish installation piece, especially in a music-suited environment or for a person who carries the sort of passion for music in them. Picasso's experiments with collaged elements encouraged me to reconsider sculptures to give it a new meaning and perspective. Rather than a collage, maquette for guitar is an assemblage or three-dimensional collage, while traditional sculpture was made up of a mass or solid surrounded by a void using a material such as wood or marble that was then shaped by the hand of the artist. Picasso here takes pieces of cardboard, paper, string, and wire that he then folded, threaded, and glued together. Following the similar terms of his principles, I have used a light-weighted material to form this model. This was the first time that a sculpture had been assembled from disparate parts. Rather than being a solid material, it fluidly integrates mass and its surrounding void. We clearly see a sort of harmony even in this distorted form, which gives a smooth blend in with ambience around it. Picasso over the cultural period of Cubism has translated the Cubist interest in multiple perspectives and geometric form into a three-dimensional medium.